Okay, the next transposition cipher is called Sitali cipher, and it is used 4th century BC by the Spartan. And this device consists of a cylinder of wood with a strip of paper wrapped around it. And how is it work? Is like you just wrap this paper around this cylinder of wood and write down your message along this cylinder, and after you finish it, just pulled out, then the paper has just one simple string of letters. Of course, your original message is kind of scattered around, so it's a little bit difficult without knowing the actual size of the cylinder, especially like diameter or radius of that cylinder. Of course, if the cylinder doesn't have the unique diameter, so if it has a thicker part and thin part of it, then it's going to be a little bit more difficult to break it. But in the next example, let's say we have just a unique diameter for the whole cylinder, and let's say that is not the real diameter, but after every 4 letters you go back to the original position, right? So just imagine we just write down that way for this message. Then the whole message has 20 letters, and key length for that Sitali cipher, let's say, is 4. Then we just divide this 50 by 4, so you can follow this explanation, but just imagine you have a cylinder and you just wrapping the cylinder with paper, but you just write down in one direction, and after you finish it, go to the next and write down again. So each line might looks like this way. After write down in one way, made the fourth, like after you finish 5, then go back to here and write down this. The reason is because it has length 4, so 5 with the remainder of 0, right? So in your message, in your paper, you are going to see METAFBH like that, right? Okay, so that's going to be our ciphertext. So to read this original message or break it, you just need to wrap this paper again along this cylinder, same size cylinder, and you are going to get the original message. Okay? But in this case, you have to divide that 20 into 4 and like that. So technically, if it's a simple enough, like a 20, then 20 is multiple of 2, 4, 5. So you can just try an error, right? Say 2, then you just arrange it. Then of course it doesn't mean anything, right? So far, so 2 is not the size of it. How about 5? Then you can get this much. So still you don't get anything. And in practical way, you don't need to write down everything. You just need to write down a couple of lines, and it doesn't mean anything. Then you can throw it away. You can do again, right? So that's how you can figure out 4 is gonna be the answer for that. So in if you compare Railfans cipher and this Sitali cipher, a Railfans case, if you just try like heights of fans is 2, 3, 4, 5, you can get it, right? In Sitali case, same thing. But in Sitali case, if you give a different radius occasionally for this cylinder, then you might get a little bit more difficult to break the ciphertext, right? But eventually, for both of case, just monoalphabetic ciphers, so it's kind of easy to break.